So as Caitlin Johnstone reports, citing a Bloomberg article, the U.S. centralized power structure expects to be backing its proxy conflict against Russia for a very long time, potentially into the 2030s. Now, I think very few Americans understand this, that the U.S. is planning to continue this war going on for, potentially a decade or more, meaning, 3 or more presidents, different presidents, could be in power and this war continues, or at least that's what the present government is planning. And I think it's important to point out how undemocratic this is, right? I mean, that this government is planning on continuing a war despite or in spite of whatever the next presidents want to do. And, I believe it was Max Blumenthal and Grayzone pointed this out as well, that the Biden administration is actually trying to set up a situation in which the next presidents cannot back out of this war, that they'll have to continue it. By the way, this was a similar dynamic to the war in Vietnam, which Eisenhower actually started and which Kennedy inherited. He wanted to end it, and of course he was unable to, and some think he was killed because he wanted to try, and powers that be wouldn't let him. Of course, Johnson inherited it, and he ended up regretting it, ending up stepping down and not running for re-election in 1968 because of the war, because it was so unpopular. But it didn't matter that it was unpopular. The war continued anyway into the Nixon administration. And why? Because powerful forces in the government wanted to continue, again, regardless of what the people wanted, regardless of what their president wanted. Similarly, we're seeing that there may be a government shutdown because of lack of funding, but the Pentagon has made clear that Ukraine operations, training of Ukraine troops will continue through a government shutdown. So the rest of the governmental shutdown, but Ukraine operations continue. Again, all of these things are not subjected to democratic controls.